Hi, Dolphins. Today we're going to take another challenge with Designing Dolphins, and this week we are taking a weather challenge. This week our challenge is to design something that can withstand extreme weather. We're going to follow the engineering design process because that's what engineers do that want to solve a problem. We're going to follow all the rules that go along with that, starting with asking questions. Our first step in engineering design is to ask questions. And we're going to do a little research about weather. So one of the questions we might want to ask is, what is extreme weather? So let's learn some facts about weather.
Hey everyone, it's Kai with Nat Geo Kids, and for this episode, we're going to talk about some wacky weather. Usually when people talk about the weather, they just want to know if it's nice out or not. But we're going to talk about the amazing and sometimes scary kinds of weather out there. Weather is how we describe the state in the Earth's atmosphere at any moment in time. When the atmosphere is affected by temperature, moisture, air pressure, and wind, we notice changes when we go outside. The weather can be completely different depending on where you live, and in other places it stays pretty much the same all year round. Scientists who study weather are called meteorologists. Some meteorologists are called forecasters, and they study patterns in the atmosphere and predict what the weather will be like next. They're the ones who let you know if you're going to need sunglasses or an umbrella tomorrow. Bad weather affects people in a lot of different ways. It can determine where people live, how much food they have, and just how comfortable they are. When we think about the weather, most of the time we're thinking about how sunny or cloudy it is, or what the temperature will be like outside. But sometimes we have what's called severe weather, which can be really dangerous. That includes things like heavy rain, strong winds, lightning, tornadoes, floods, and blizzards. Let's take a look at our first video. A tornado is a narrow column of violently spinning air that starts up in a cloud and reaches down to the ground. Tornadoes typically come along with thunderstorms. They usually happen during the spring and summer, but tornadoes have been spotted throughout the year. Most tornadoes form in the central part of the United States when cold air coming down from Canada reaches the warm air from the Gulf of Mexico. This area is called Tornado Alley because of the high number of tornadoes that form here. Tornadoes can occur pretty much anywhere in the world. There have been tornadoes in every continent except Antarctica. The reason that there are no tornadoes in Antarctica because the atmospheric conditions aren't right, so it's just not possible. Did you know that winds from a tornado can reach a speed of 300 miles per hour? That's strong enough to rip trees from the ground and throw a car over 100 yards.
So our big idea this week is to create a structure that could survive a tornado. So we need to think about details that would make a good structure to survive a tornado. So you're going to use your imagination and think about what materials you have at home and around the house that you could use to make your structure. Now be sure to ask your parents before you use anything, but think about different items that you could use to possibly build your structure. The next step is to make your plan. You're going to use the ideas you thought about when you were imagining what you could make, and you're going to draw out and label your design. Now, some things to remember. Your design has to be freestanding. That means it has to stand alone. You can't tape it to the table or tape it to the ground or glue it to something. It needs to stand on its own. And if you are in one of the older grades, maybe 3rd through 5th, your structure needs to have an area of at least 5 by 10. So it has to be at least 5 by 10. You need to have a way for your family to go in and out. So it needs to look like a regular structure. In and out would be some type of door. You need a door. And your family needs to be able to fit inside of your structure. So you're going to draw out your plan, labeling all the parts. Now you're going to put all your ideas and your plans together and create. You get to create your structure. So use everything you have, all your materials, your plan, to make your structure. Now you're going to test your structure to see how strong it is. So you're going to test it in 2 ways. One way, you're going to test it with low winds. When you do a low wind test, you're going to blow on your structure and see if it stands or if it falls down. Then the second one is high winds. High winds, you can use a fan or a blow dryer or something like that on your structure and see if it still stands. If your structure falls down, then you need to make some improvements. So improve it and try it again and test again. If you want to make other improvements to make it look nicer or maybe make it a little bit stronger, you can also do that. One way to record information is by using a data table. The older grades can create a data table to record their testing times. You can record the low winds and the high winds. Data tables are good also for comparing data. You can look at the different tests and see if there are any patterns, or you can look at how it's changed over time. I hope you had fun today doing the weather challenge. See you next time. Bye.